It's time to Get Your Geek On with Dave Gramillion.
Ah, yes. It is time for another episode of Get Your Geek On. I am Dave Gramillion. Welcome here, welcome here, welcome here. This is the only show on AM Talk Radio in the United States that will talk Star Wars, Star Trek, DC, Marvel, gaming, all things really that's geek that has dominated this little world of ours. Geek is not really what it was 20 or 30 years ago. Geek is now in. Geek is now mainstream. Geek is everywhere. Geek is in blockbuster movies. Geek is on the Riverwalk. Geek is on 6th Street. Geek is whatever is cool in Dallas. I assume they have like a Galleria or something down there. I mean, cool. I mean, it's on Wall Street.
I'll be in Dallas this weekend, so maybe there'll be something cool there then.
Oh, that was smooth. That was smooth. Geek is now in Hollywood. Geek is now everywhere. And that is why you are here. It is to listen to the talk, the very latest talk, the greatest talk, the latest news, the greatest news that is geek, right here on 9:30 a.m., The Answer in San Antonio, and 9:30 a.m., TheAnswer.com. If you're listening to us live on your radio dial, we do appreciate that. If you're listening to us via the miracle that is the podcast at 9:30 a.m., TheAnswer.com, we appreciate that also. You're listening to us in the future.
Start getting your DeLorean, TARDIS, even a Federation starship that goes around the sun, go back in time, bring us the lottery numbers. That's all I'm
That would be
asking.
fantastic.
The winning lottery numbers, excuse
Yes.
me.
Tacos.
I am sick of tacos.
How can you be sick of tacos?
Have you had Austin tacos?
Well, those are Austin tacos.
I understand.
Yeah, but San
you realize how
Antonio
many
tacos.
I ate in those few days?
Nobody made you eat them.
Oh, really?
Okay, never mind. Okay.
We went over this last week.
If you're listening to us live streaming on the website, we appreciate that also. And if you're listening to us via the Facebook live post that we do at facebook.com/GYGO official, hi, we're waving. Live long, prosper, nanu, sleep late and party, all that fun stuff.
I can't nanu with headphones.
Yeah, it kind of makes it difficult there. This is episode number 17, and tonight we were supposed to have an interview with Tim Rose, who played Admiral Akbar, but that has been postponed for the time being.
You know what I'm hoping for? We get closer to Comic-Con, we have Bullock on in 2 weeks.
Yes, we do.
Maybe a double dose of Star Wars.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. Jeremy Bullock and Tim Rose on the same show.
Not at the same time.
Well, no.
But on the same show.
Yeah, that'd be kind of weird if it was the same time, because there's no way I could get them together because they're in two different cities to do the same interview.
Yeah, I know.
That'd be kind of weird.
Same show, though.
Same show would be fantastic.
Yeah.
But next week.
Hang on.
Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
I have to.
We got to do
myself.
this the right way. If she finds out that we said her name without doing the right sound, I mean, she may cancel.
I know. So who do we have next week?
Next week we have Amy Jo Johnson, the Pink Power Ranger. Go Power Ranger! And then Jeremy Bullock the week after that.
In January 2017, just said on Thursday at New York City Comic Con, there's a new Mighty Morphin Power Rangers game coming out.
Shut the front door. Are you serious?
Yes, with and unlockable character.
Amy Jo Johnson.
No, she is a main character.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's good news.
Unlockable is Tommy in both green and white.
Ooh.
And the 3 second Rangers who took over red, black, and yellow in the second season.
Groovy.
Sweet.
Okay, but we do have some video game news that we are going to talk about. The Sony VR, the reviews are finally coming in, and we're going to talk about that for a while. If you've been following the show for a while, I'm a big proponent of VR.
And if you haven't, check out the podcast.
But I'm huge into VR. I can't wait for the Sony VR to come out. And sadly, they did not ship me one to review, but that's okay. I'll forgive them. I'll ship myself
Strike one,
for
Sony.
For
Strike one.
For the
cost
of that one. Yeah. We have some Marvel news we're going to talk about. Well, I want to talk Luke Cage, and I want to talk about how it broke Netflix. Allegedly. We'll talk about that. Some DC news that we're going to discuss. Samuel L. Jackson is back into the news. And HBO. Is HBO going to get a comic book series? I'm not sure. I think this might be their first. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember HBO ever having a comic book series.
But Spawn.
Was it a series?
Animated.
Or was it animated?
Oh, the
cartoon?
animated series. Okay, I mean, okay. Well, live action series.
Yeah.
They're trying to Netflix what Netflix is doing there. So we're talking about that as well. But first, if we're going to do the show and we got to do it right, we have to go through our checklist and make sure we have everything. Now, first, I do want to apologize. Apparently, the huge bag of stuff that I have does not contain my back scratcher, which sucks.
I confiscated it.
Shh. You got tired of me throwing it at you.
Yes.
Okay, but I do have something to drink, which is good because if you're going to talk geek for an hour, you probably want to have something to drink, something to wet your whistle. Goose, you got something to drink there?
I do.
All right, good news.
But they don't sponsor the show, so I'm not putting it on the screen.
Yeah, I'll turn my label around. That's the best I can do. Peter's
I
covered.
got water.
Peter's covered as well, so that works. And if you're going to do a geeky show, I'm just saying, I've heard a lot of podcasts in my time. I've heard a lot of shows in my time. If you're going to do a geeky show, you got to have a lightsaber. This is all blue. I love all blue. I've had all blue for years now. It's just fantastic. Have a lightsaber. That right there, instant geek cred. Love it.
Can I add an unofficial fourth thing?
Yes. In fact, we were going to discuss the unofficial fourth thing. Go ahead and discuss it.
I was thinking, we're on a 17th show, and we're on Facebook Live, so this makes a lot of sense.
Oh, yeah, it does.
The other thing you have to do a geeky radio show streamed over video is a geeky item of clothing. Hello. I've got my Superman shirt on. Dave's got his 8-bit Spurs shirt on.
And my hat.
And his Star Wars hat.
Rebel Alliance hat there.
And Peter over here, you may think he's got nothing. You may think he's not prepared, but oh no, you would be wrong. He has Darth Vader socks.
And flexibility, apparently.
Okay. And my Batman lanyard from my homework.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't, let's not do the whole flexibility thing again. Okay.
It's okay. I'm old. I'm probably not going to be able to do that anymore. So.
All right. So, yeah.
Peter may not be here next week because of he's been in the hospital.
Yeah.
I'm going after the show.
Oh, goodness. All right. So we have everything we need to get the show started, which is good. So let's go ahead and get started off here. Let's kick things off the right way. Let's talk some video game news here, shall we? I love that song. That's just awesome. It just picks you right up. I love it. All right. This particular segment brought to you by our new sponsor called Laser Legends up there on the north side of town, 1604 near 35 over on Lookout Road. Goose, you said you've put together
I did a little bit of research,
here.
yes. So Laser Legend can be found at 7500 North Loop 1604 East up in Live Oak. And you can call them at 210-444-9025. Now, they have laser tag. They have glow golf. They have a 4,000 square foot arcade. Oh, my goodness. They're available for parties. They're available for meetings. And, check this out, hours of operation Monday through Thursday, 4 to 9. Friday, 4 to midnight.
Bam!
Saturday, spend your day there. They're open 10 to midnight.
Bam!
10 a.m. to midnight, excuse me. Sunday, noon to 8, because, it's a school night.
Bam!
So... And they have memberships. Membership's only $20. Guess what? You get an $18 value right off the bat. You get a free game of laser tag. You get a free key fob, customized game card, all of that, $20. And that's for the whole year. You get a 15% discount on any game after that. You get a gamer tag and access to member-only events and discounts. I also found out that they do something great for our soldiers because it is owned and operated by an Air Force vet.
Yes!
But I'm not telling you about that till next week.
Now, one of the things I love about this...
LaserLegend.com.
One of the things I love about Laser Legends is, like a lot of stores that have arcades and whatnot, they have a place where you can take your tickets in and you can get Chinese finger traps and you can get finger puppets and you can get stuff like that. But they also have a wide variety of Star Wars toys and Star Trek toys. They even have, and I love this, I noticed this the first time I went in there, they have a cosmonaut helmet. An actual cosmonaut Soviet. I'm not making this up. It's not like, a knockoff or it was used in a movie or something. An actual cosmonaut helmet. There, you can go look at it. I thought that was the coolest thing.
It even says CCP on it, right?
Yeah, it does.
Oh,
I thought it was the coolest thing. So Laser Legends, you want to check them out and tell them that you want to go there and get your geek on. All right, so Sony VR reviews are finally coming in. This is the most anticipated VR set. Now, we've had virtual reality headsets come out before. Google came out with one made out of cardboard. Yes, made out of cardboard. Don't wear it in the rain.
So you got to treat it like you do your gremlins.
Yeah, essentially. You don't get it wet. Don't
or your mogwai,
don't feed it.
Yeah. Mogwai.
Well, you don't want to get the gremlins wet either, because you just get more gremlins.
You don't want to feed it after
you don't want to
midnight.
do that. So Google came out with their cardboard. HTC has the Vive, which is insanely expensive. And the Gear VR is, for now, the most popular one because it was the cheapest to get. They were giving them away, literally, for free. You would buy, I think it was the Samsung Galaxy S7 or S6, and as a promotional deal, you would get the visor for free. Yeah, and I own a pair of them, actually. I own two visors, one for me, one for my wife. We love the thing.
Oh, by the way, I finally found out what happened on Praxis. They had a Galaxy Note 7.
Ba-dunk. There it is. Okay.
Good setup. Good one.
So so this virtual reality set is phenomenal. I've been able to ride roller coasters all over the country without leaving my chair. I've been able to see basketball games courtside at Madison Square Garden.
No way.
I got to see the NBA Finals, Kentucky Derby, Lion King. Got to see part of the Lion King. They put a camera up there.
Which finals?
Yeah, not the good one. Anyway, but the virtual reality is big, and it's going to get bigger. I can easily envision a time in which you can pay $250 to go to Kyle Field to see the Aggies play Tennessee. I'm sorry, to beat the ever-living hell out of Tennessee. Or you can pay $49.95, and you'll download this streaming app that'll also let you see it virtually. You'll be there at Kyle Field. I can see that coming.
That is sweet.
I can still see it happening, and they'll broadcast the attendance at Kyle Field was 102,588 people, and watching virtually were 412,000, however many people like that. I can totally see that coming. And now the reviews are coming in about the Sony PlayStation 4 VR set. It actually has a different name for it. It's just Sony VR, but here's the beautiful part about it. If you buy a Vive, an HTC Vive, or if you were to buy the Samsung Gear VR, you have to have an additional component. With the Gear VR, you got to have a Samsung phone, or the thing doesn't work. With the HTC Vive, you've got to have a computer with a pretty high-end graphics card, or it doesn't work, or it lags too much. But with the Sony VR, all you do is plug in your PS4 and you're done.
So you have to have a PS4.
You do have to have a PS4. How many PS4s are there worldwide, you may ask?
I don't know. I know there's one in my house.
40 million. There's one in my house, too. 40 million. So there are 40 million people that on day one will buy the VR, could buy the VR headset, take it home, plug it in, they're done. They don't need anything else. That's it. That's all their setup is to it. You don't need to buy another phone. You don't need to buy anything. I mean, it helps to have the camera, and the little wand thing.
You don't need a social life.
You don't need a social life. Boom, you're done. You're taken care of. So the reviews have started coming in now, and they're all pretty favorable. The Wired.com gave it an 8 out of 10, saying it's the most comfortable headset. A lot of people have complained that the Vive and the Gear VR, they're too heavy in pressure points on the nose and the ears are too heavy. Plus, the phone is right up front. It's about 4 inches in front of your face, so you kind of start to droop a little bit. They say, no, this one is more comfortable than the other models. Plus, the price splits the difference between the Vive and the Gear VR, and will have a, quote, robust slate of games right at launch, including Batman VR.
Whoa.
You can be Batman virtually.
Whoa.
Well, then Michael Keaton doesn't need it.
Well, not anymore, no.
Because he's Batman.
Because he's Batman.
And he can turn his head this time.
Wasn't that the knock on Clooney? Was that the knock on Keaton?
No, that was a knock on Keaton. The knock on Clooney has something to do with the torso of the suit.
Well, and plus the movie in general. I mean,
yeah.
Let's not talk about
we're not going there. No. Wall Street Journal says, quote, teenagers will beg for it this Christmas.
Teenagers beg for everything for Christmas.
Well, that's true. But
I was one at one point. So
they also praised the easy setup of the PS4, and they said that this has a 120 hertz refresh rate, which will cut down on queasiness complaints people have had in the past. This thing will refresh much, much faster than the previous models. CNET also gave it a 7.9 out of 10. They just couldn't give it the 8 for whatever reason. But the New York Times said consumers should wait for the next generation of headsets. They said that this is... The games are boring for the most part, and that I just lost my place right there on my notes. They're calling it awkward, is what they were saying. Awkward to use the little wand sticks. And
the first gen of just about everything is awkward.
That's true.
So.
Everything is awkward.
Stop it. Just stop. This was about to get awkward.
So I'm excited for it. I think that the VR, sometimes it makes me a little dizzy on those roller coaster rides. I rode a roller coaster in Germany virtually, and I got a little motion sickness because not much. I mean, but it was pretty much like riding a roller coaster here. You get off the Krypton coaster or the Texas Giant, and guess what? You're going to be a little queasy.
You want to hear something really sad?
No, but you'll tell us anyway.
I can't get on the Krypton coaster.
Oh, because you're Superman.
Well, because I'm super big, especially in my waist area.
I was going to say because it reminds you too much of home, being Krypton coaster.
That's true
and all
too.
that. So.
But,
all right, so the VR experience, I think, is really going to sell big, especially to people who want to go see Broadway musicals, who want to see Cirque du Soleil, who wants to see Phantom of the Opera, who wants to see Lion King, and who want to see the Spurs take on the Nuggets courtside, who want to see the Cowboys.
Okay, take that out, and you sold this to my wife.
Yeah, pretty much. You want to see the Cowboys play the Jets? You want to be there on the 50-yard line? No problem. They'll do it virtually for you.
Yeah, great thing also about this is you don't have to worry about parking anymore.
That's right. You don't have to worry about parking. You're in your comfort of your own home, and you get better seats. I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to pay $200 to sit nosebleed at Jerry World, or are you going to pay $49.95 to watch this virtually on the 50-yard line?
Cool. I mean,
here's the thing: it's not the parking; it's the getting out of the parking.
That too. You don't have to worry about that.
Finding parking, spending money at concession. I can just go out there and get some hot pockets as I'm watching a game or something.
But then you're going to spend the rest of the game in the bathroom.
Well, at the second half of the game.
Okay. All right. So
that happens even at a regular game.
Quick shout out to the people that are watching us on Facebook Live at facebook.com/GYGOofficial. Scott Mester wants to see TCU Texas A&M. Yeah, that'll be a short game for you, pal. Just saying, the Aggies will make quick work of. Okay, I won't go there. Let's see here. Justin Marsh says, "Rock on, Dave." Thank you. Yes, compliment the host. That is a great way to get your name spoken on radio. I guarantee it. Feed the ego. That's all I'm saying. All right. So VR. Do either of y'all own a VR headset?
No.
No. Okay. You got to come over to my place. You got to try this.
It's like Disney. We've never been there.
We were never there.
All right. Well, are you okay? So you own a PlayStation.
I
Goose.
do.
All right. So Goose owns a PlayStation. Are you going to get the VR?
I might understand that promoting this show and doing this is a full-time job in addition to the full-time job in addition to that I'm married. So it's a matter of finding time.
Yeah, true enough. Do you own a PS4, Peter?
No, but it'll make a great wedding gift. Hint, hint.
He's registered at GameStop.
That's a true geek right there. She's registered at Bed Bath & Beyond. He's registered at GameStop.
Well, then again, knowing my fiance and down in Mexico City. Yes, blatant plug there.
Bienvenido.
Yay. But, she's just as nerdy as I am. She's more of the gamer than I am.
Wow, that's impressive and sad at the same time.
But, hey, I got all the other stuff decked out. I have my action figures and everything else, Star Wars and DVDs and Blu-rays of everything else, including all of our cosplays as well.
By the way, those are going to storage soon.
No, not with her.
Yeah.
She plays with my action figures just as much as I do. So.
All righty. So Sony VR... It's coming out. It's going to be big. It's going to be huge. They're going to sell 40 million of these things. I'm waiting for it. It's going to be fantastic. All right. So with that being said, we want to talk. Luke Cage is the newest, latest, greatest sort of series to come out on Netflix from Marvel. So let's talk about some Marvel news here, shall we?
That sequel to the smash hit with no equal. This one's for the true fans with Hulk hands and action figures. Flying, dining, saving you all in the city. Got masks on and weapons out. You won't like the Hulk when he's angry. Too hot.
I love that. That's fantastic.
Just as much as seeing Dave doing the Running Man in here.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not doing the Running Man. I may do the sprinkler at some point. But no, I will not be doing the Running Man. That's not going to happen. Okay, so Luke Cage. This is now the third Marvel series on Netflix. The first one being Daredevil, which was a smash hit. Everybody loved it. Second one was Jessica Jones. Yeah, smash hit. Everybody loved it. Now Luke Cage has come out, and allegedly it broke Netflix. Now, Netflix is not confirming that Luke Cage did this, but they are saying that at the time that they released the series, or the first season of it, rather, I believe it's like a 13-episode.
Hey, guys, I need to do a little test right quick.
Oh.
Steven, since you're on the Facebook account, let me know if you hear any music.
Stop. Wait a minute. This video needs some blokey in it. Such a pain in the neck. All the girls think I'm sexy.
Okay, we got audio back.
Oh, yeah, we're good.
Sweet. Okay, so anyway,
grandma.
yeah,
One
Luke
cable
Cage,
makes all
Luke
the
Cage,
difference.
Luke Cage. Okay, so all right, so they won't say that Luke Cage broke Netflix per se, but at the time that it was released, there was a 2-hour interruption of service for U.S. and U.K. viewers. Now, it just happened to coincidentally happen at the same time that everybody and their mother was watching Luke Cage, but they're not going to say that that's what broke it. But yeah, that's what broke it.
I doubt that. Come on.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. I absolutely believe it, and I'll tell you why. Because this has evidently reached a new market that the previous 2 episodes or 2 series hadn't.
I will say this: if there's anybody who's going to break Netflix, it would be Power Man.
But I'm bump.
That's
Because he has the power.
Oh God, he's got the touch.
No, that's
He's
Transformers.
got the power.
And it's You've Got the Touch. Don't.
Well, yeah,
don't-
but I don't. He does.
Well, he needs to be singing that. but
Okay,
not really.
all right. Well, that works. But he doesn't have the power of love because
No.
that's Huey Lewis and the News. They have the power of
Yes.
love. Okay, all right. So
Well, the Misty Night scene. Never mind.
Stop it. Just stop it.
boy, I'm gonna throw stuff at you now. So, all right. So Luke Cage broke Netflix for a couple of hours. But here's the thing, and this is why I bring up the audience: is that reports have come out now that unfortunately race has reared its ugly head in comic books and comic book series once again. Now, I've tried very hard to leave politics and race out of this show. You want to listen to politics and race? There are plenty of shows out there on the AM dial that will talk politics and race with you all the live long
And
day.
some of them are right here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Very true.
Ding.
But I try very hard not to do that. Yeah, I don't really have a choice now because now reports are coming out that the show is too black.
Stop it. Just stop it.
I kid you not. I kid you not.
That's ridiculous.
These are the reports that are coming out, and they came out almost at the same time the show was released. They said
were written beforehand.
they say apparently the criticism is that white people can't relate to Luke Cage
this
because he's
urban
African American and he's very, very African American. The show takes place around African American people. It's like
It's
like Barbershop,
it's
only
in Harlem.
with
I call
superheroes.
shenanigans.
Yeah, I do too because I want to know. Okay, first of all, in 2016, where we have Samuel L. Jackson, who's Nick Fury, and nobody cared about that.
Right.
Not one person cared that Samuel L. Jackson was Nick Fury. You're going to tell me that now everyone's whining about Luke Cage? I'm sorry. I'm not buying this. I want to know these people that get these reports. I'm using air quotes here, reports that white people can't relate. I'm sorry. Do they have like a Klan spokesman on speed dial that they just can't wait to call and get a, because that's the only person who could complain about a Marvel series being too black.
I've got jokes, but they're politics. I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
I'm
we're
not
we're gonna hold on to those, but I'm sorry, I don't buy it. I really don't.
Same here because the setting is in Harlem, which is 95. What I don't know what the percentage.
It's got a large demographic
Yeah.
that
It
the show
does.
represents.
Yeah.
To be fair, Hell's Kitchen is like right up the road.
Yeah.
So Spider-Man is
Summer.
Forest Hills
Yeah.
Fantastic Four.
in Baxter. That's in Manhattan.
Well, yeah, true. It's not Harlem or Queens, but
Yeah.
I mean, but you know what one of my favorite movies is? Coming to America. I love that movie.
That's my wife's favorite movie of all time. I think.
And I don't care that I can't relate. I don't care if I relate or not. I don't. I just want a really good movie.
And a funny movie.
And it was
great.
hilarious. Oh my God. The scene in the barbershop where they're all arguing about who the best boxer is.
That was great.
Cracks me up every time. Pound for pound, Muhammad Ali's best boxer of all time. I love that scene. It's hilarious. So the idea that white people can't relate and that's a problem? No. It's people it's these media types who are stirring up trouble. You know who doesn't stir up trouble? MyGeeksNews.com. If you want legit news from
Cheap
a legit
plug. source,
you go to MyGeek. Hey, they're sponsoring the segment, so you go to MyGeeksNews.com for actual, factual news. No clickbait, no race baiting, no op-eds that are there just to stir up controversy where there is none. You go to mygeeksnews.com for all your geeky news, updated 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365. All right, coming up after the bottom of the hour news break here, we have some DC news, including Samuel L. Jackson is back in the news. He took a little swing at DC movies. And is HBO going to get a comic book series? We'll talk about that right after the break. All right, welcome back from the bottom of the hour break here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, 930amtheanswer.com, iHeartRadio, and now Facebook Live as well. Okay, so we're back in the first half of the top half of the hour there. We were listening to us talk about the PS4 that's getting ready to come out with its virtual reality add-on. The reviews are in. If you want to listen to that, you can check it out on our podcast at 930amtheanswer.com. Also, Luke Cage breaking Netflix and apparently breaking racial barriers as well. Yeah. So we'll catch that as well also in the first half of the hour. But what we're going to do now is we're going to talk. We've already done Marvel, so it makes sense that we go on and we talk about a little DC news here, shall we?
I want to leap over buildings, want to fly over the shores, save the people from the villains, catch the crooks who rob the stores.
I love the piano part here. That's really cool. Okay, so DC Comics is back in the news again, even though this is kind of the dead period for movies in general. We don't really have a movie that's coming out until November when Doctor Strange comes out, so this is the calm before the proverbial storm.
However, the extended cut of Suicide Squad was just announced on Blu-ray.
Yeah, really?
Maybe it's like Batman versus Superman. Maybe the extended cut is better.
I think the extended cut will have more Joker in it because Jared Leto threw such a hissy fit on social media about the lack of Joker.
We're supposed to encourage people to buy it, not run from it.
That too. I'm probably going to get it anyway. I mean,
everybody will.
Maybe the first 40 minutes of it will actually make sense and not look like it was edited by a jackrabbit. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Maybe.
Get it? Because it jumps everywhere.
But
Okay, but that's Suicide Squad. But Samuel L. Jackson was talking to Collider recently.
Hold on.
Marvel fame.
We're talking DC News, and you're bringing up Samuel L. Jackson.
I am, believe it or not, because Collider actually brought it up to Samuel L. Jackson, the Marvel man himself, who plays Nick Fury in, everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
in the Avengers franchise. Or the Marvel Cinematic Universe franchise.
I'm pretty sure he plays Nick Fury. I think he played Nick Fury in Star Wars as well. There was some of that in there,
and even in Pulp Fiction.
I want to say this. Yeah, even in Pulp Fiction. I want to say this. We have another presidential debate coming up. Can we get Samuel Jackson to be the next moderator? Can you imagine him?
Awesome.
I said you got 2 minutes.
No,
what did I say?
No, we can't because the FCC is involved.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It would be. You got 2 minutes. Yeah, expletive deleted. But still, he'd be an awesome moderator. You really think I'm going to let you get away with that? I can totally see. That'd be hilarious. Not as hilarious as my impression of him. I apologize for that one. Okay.
I'm not there yet.
All right, so Collider rhetorically asked Samuel L. Jackson, why can't DC and Marvel movies be good?
They can. They just haven't been yet.
To which Jackson retorted, isn't that a question that the people at DC are asking themselves?
Burn.
It actually is because it was after Batman versus Superman that Jeff Johns took over.
Yeah, well, actually, and he goes on to say, the Marvel people don't ask that. I don't think the Marvel people are asking themselves that question, he says while laughing.
They're too busy counting their money.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, it's funny you should mention that because I'm starting to wonder now about the DC versus Marvel hate and how everybody says the DC movies are crap. That's the consensus. Man of Steel, Batman, Superman, Suicide Squad, crap movies. That's the. Can we agree? That's kind of the consensus. That's the opinion.
I'll give them like a B at this point. Not maybe that's the A plus, but at least I'll give them a B.
But especially compared to Marvel movies, isn't that the?
I think what they're trying to do is try to separate themselves and not be a Marvel type movie. I can understand
perhaps, but can we agree though that in the eyes of the public,
yes,
yes, DC
don't
movies
make me admit that. I'm wearing a Superman shirt, man.
Well, Samuel L. Jackson went on to say that hopefully they'll make one of those movies one of these days, and it'll be as big as a Marvel movie.
It's called Justice League.
Yeah, well, I actually want to I want to correct Mr. Jackson on a couple of things here. When you're talking about making a DC movie as big as a Marvel movie, I looked up the top 5 highest grossing comic book movies of all time, adjusted for inflation. Let's be fair here.
Oh, that's nice.
Number 5 is Superman, 1978, $529 million domestic. All these figures are domestic. I'm not going global.
The best Superman movie of all time.
We're talking
by the way.
USA. Yeah, with the weirdest ending. Really? So shouldn't there now be 2 Supermen since he went back in time? And
no, he melded with himself.
He's fast enough to spin the planet backwards and do time travel, but he's not fast enough to stop 2 missiles.
Don't think too far.
Okay, all right. So that's number 5. The number 5
wasn't there yet.
The number 5 highest grossing movie of all time for comic books domestically in the U.S. is Superman, 1978. Number 4.
I'm Batman.
Is Batman, 1989 at $533 million. So that's 2 DC movies right there that are in the top 5.
Both of those were awesome, by the way.
Number 3 is the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, 2002. It's only 14 years ago. It seems a lot longer ago than that.
Because we've had a plethora of movies.
That's true. At $586 million. So our first Marvel movie comes in there. The Dark Knight is number 2 at $626 million domestically.
Which was the second Nolan movie.
Yes, it was. It was the best one of the 3 by far. I mean, no question about it. The first one I still thought was pretty good for what it was. And the third one... And the number one highest grossing comic book movie is The Avengers at $660 million. Notice Age of Ultron is not on the list, nor is Iron Man.
I will say that this typically in franchise movies, when you're doing the origin story first, the second movie is typically better.
That is correct.
Except for Iron Man
2. Yeah, Iron Man 2 was garbage. That was not a good movie.
But the third one was excellent, in my opinion.
you and the only one other person who watched it. But.
Yeah. You and Gwyneth Paltrow love that movie. That's about it. That's
Gwyneth Paltrow may have been a reason.
Just maybe, and her flame resistant, flame retardant outfit.
Yeah,
it's called censors. Sir.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So there it is. So 3 of the top 5 belong to DC. Now, true. If you say only movies in the last 15 years. Yeah, Marvel kind of dominates because you take out the Superman, you take out Batman 89. But if we're talking about the franchises as a whole...
Yeah, but I think he's talking about since they wanted to do connected universes.
I think he's talking about since Iron Man in 2008. Mm-hmm. When we really started to get into the cinematic universe that is connected together. And it's not just a bunch of movies.
Okay. But the weird thing about this is even though the DCU universe, movie-wise, not so great. However... the small screen stuff is fantastic.
Oh, the small screen stuff is awesome.
Yeah.
This week we saw the premiere of Flash and Green Arrow. Next week is Supergirl, and in a few weeks is Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true. But Samuel L. Jackson was being asked specifically about the big screen, and he jokes about how, and this is the crack. This is like how people, it kind of gets on my craw that, people say that the stormtroopers never hit anything.
Except, some defenseless rebel soldiers.
Except for all the soldiers on the Tantive 4, a bunch of Ewoks, the Jawas, Owen and Beru, Leia twice, all those guys on Hoth. I guess they just, froze to death. They just sat around and watched the stormtroopers miss them. No, the stormtroopers killed a lot of people. Sure, they didn't shoot Luke and Han because, they're main characters, but they did hit Leia twice. Mm-hmm. So you can't say that the stormtroopers are bad shots, but that's the rap they get. That's their reputation. It's the same thing here. DC has made some huge blockbuster movies. Suicide Squad made some serious money.
Mm-hmm. And so did Man of Steel and Superman versus Batman.
Absolutely. So they do make big movies.
By the way, Superman will always get top billing in my head. I don't care what the title actually is.
So they do make big movies, and they make huge blockbuster movies. The quality of those movies may not be Marvel-esque, although Marvel has had some stinkers of their own. But you absolutely cannot say that DC movies have flopped at the box office.
Not in the least, no.
Man of Steel was the 3rd best Superman movie ever made.
Oh, second being Superman Returns?
No.
Superman 4?
Superman 2.
Superman 3?
No, 1, 2, and Man of Steel.
But it was Richard Pryor. How can you go wrong with having Richard Pryor?
Or the quest.
I know.
For peace.
Well, that was my thought. You had Robert Vaughn, Richard Pryor, and Christopher Reeve. How can you mess that up?
Well, let me count those.
Okay,
They found a way.
And so now we also learned that Ben Affleck will be directing a Batman movie
Yeah, that we
of
can
his
see that
very
one
own.
I'm sorry, Argo was good. The Accountant looks awesome.
It does. It really, truly does. I think Ben Affleck has really come into his own.
He's a good
lately.
director. A lot of people don't give him credit. As soon as he got cast for Batman, everybody was like, "Oh no!" But he actually surprised me.
As a Dark Knight Returns Batman, he
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah, I thought he did a pretty passable job.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't knock it out of the park for me like Keaton did, but he still did a pretty good job, especially, again, considering the pressure of the role itself. I mean, everybody was slamming Ben Affleck, although to be fair, everybody was slamming Michael Keaton too.
Yeah.
Well, and coming off of Christian Bale's run.
Yes.
I mean, but they said, I mean, from the looks of everything, if you were going in thinking it was going to be Keaton's or Bale's Batman, you were disappointed. But if you came in thinking it was going to be more like Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns Batman, that was pretty much on track.
I liked it because his suit was finally actually black and gray, and it had the big, Frank Miller Batman
Yeah.
on his chest, which I thought was great.
Now-
and I thought that fight scene that he had in the warehouse, some of those guys aren't going to be walking right after that. Some of those guys are going to be in the hospital or walking with a cane for quite some time.
So Ben Affleck was kind enough to reveal the title of his upcoming movie, and you'll never guess. He must have stayed up. I bet he focus tested this. He thought it over. He talked to a bunch of marketing people. He stayed up sleepless nights coming up with this title. The title of his Batman movie will be called The Batman.
I only have one request with that. No Hobbit foot Joker with dreadlocks.
I mean, really, The Batman.
well, we had The Dark Knight.
We
Yeah,
had
but
Batman.
Yeah, but not only that, but The Dark Knight, though, was also kind of a metaphor for how dark that was.
Well, that whole series was dark.
Yeah, it was. It truly was. But we have Batman Begins, and we have Batman Returns, and now we have The Batman.
Well, what else are you going to call it?
Well, I don't
Well,
know because we don't know what the movie's about.
Well, Star Wars has taken all the great verbs so far. Strikes
Because you had
Back,
Batman, Batman Returns,
of
Batman
the-
Forever, Batman and Robin. You've had
you want to talk
Batman
about
Begins,
wanna
The
talk
Dark
about
Knight, The Dark
DC
Knight
comic
Rises.
bombs? Yeah, the Batman
So-
had a few stinkers in there.
The Batman is kind of what you've got to keep it enigmatic.
Yeah, but you can have
You can't do the Cape Crusader because there's a new animated movie called Return of the Cape Crusaders, which is having a limited release on Monday.
True.
And coming out on DVD and Blu-ray on Tuesday.
Well, I mean, we don't know what it is. I mean, you could be Batman. I mean, for all I know, it's the public finally turning on him, and it's Batman versus Gotham. It's Batman's Gotham. It could be the Gotham Knight. I mean, you could come up. I don't know what the plot is going to be. So,
Honestly, I'm hoping it's a
but-
flashback movie that tells us how
The
Wayne
origin
Manor
story?
got no. How Wayne Manor
another
got blew up.
flashback.
What put him in that house?
okay.
What happened to Robin? And they did confirm it was the Jason Todd Robin.
Yeah.
Not Dick Grayson, not Tim Drake. Where are those
I'm
guys?
really hoping it's an origin story because I think we need to explore what happened to his
Now,
parents.
I will say this. Ben Affleck, listen to me right now.
Ben Affleck.
Barbara Gordon is nowhere near this movie.
Oh, God.
I am still
Oh.
recovering from the Killing Joke. Barbara Gordon stays out. I'm telling you now.
We're being trolled by Billy. I'm sure of this on the Facebook Live chat. Yeah, he says the best Batman was Val Kilmer.
It was Kilmer, first of all. And no, the best Batman was probably Keaton. Well, hold on. No, Christian Bale was the best for that particular Batman. But out of that 4-movie set, Keaton ran the table.
What are you trying to prove, Goose? That deep down, everyone loves Christian Bale's Batman.
Swear to me.
Well, since you're going to do that, I'm just going to say,
Holy rusted metal Batman.
Rusted metal Batman.
Oh, my God.
This metal, it's rusted and holy.
It's holy. Yeah, shut up, O'Donnell. Just, God, what an awful movie. Just, okay, all right.
It wasn't that bad.
It was that
was
bad.
not that
It was
bad.
that bad.
I give it an
Okay.
E for effort.
All right,
At least
so
you tried.
speaking of comic book movies,
Yes.
is it possible now that HBO is getting on the comic book bandwagon? HBO, which hasn't... I'm trying to remember the last big hit they had. You remember...
Game of Thrones.
Well, besides... Okay, so yeah, they got Game of Thrones. They got that. But I mean, back in the day, in the last
Sex
part of
and the City?
last decade, they had Sex and the City. They
6
had
Feet Under?
Sopranos. They had 6 Feet Under. They had
Deadwood.
I mean, they were killing people with all these fantastic shows that were winning award after. I mean, they would carry like bags of awards home.
Veep is on Showtime or HBO.
I think it's on. Yeah, it's on HBO. And now Netflix has come in and kind of taken away HBO's thunder. HBO's Game of Thrones. What else do they have that's really tearing it up? I got nothing. So now HBO has confirmed that preliminary discussions regarding a Watchmen series have occurred, but they have no additional information and no deals are yet in place.
And who's developing this Watchmen series?
That would be none other than Zack Snyder.
Stop it right now. Zack
Snyder is in talks to develop a Watchmen television series based on the comic book series from DC Comics.
Variety
confirmed it with HBO. Snyder is known for directing the 2009 film adaptation of Watchmen, along with Sucker Punch, 300, Justice League, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Man of Steel. He didn't direct, but he was the executive producer of Suicide Squad.
Yeah, you need to stop Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder, I mean, this guy lives and breathes DC. You think he just lives at the studio?
No, he lives, breathes, and distorts DC. Let's be honest.
Goose, I have this feeling. Call it a gut instinct. I'm going to go with my gut here that you're not terribly thrilled with Zack Snyder.
No, I'm not.
And what he's done with DC movies.
No, I am not. He has... I realize you wanted to do a New 52 Superman. There's a reason the New 52 Superman is dead. And it's because it doesn't work.
See, sometimes my instincts pay off. Not often, but I was kind of picking up. He was very subtle about it. I mean, he really was. I mean,
just a little.
It's wow. Yeah.
You have
Tell us how you really feel.
DC Comics brought in a Superman they decided to do away with in 2011 to fix the mess that was the New 52 Superman. And what makes you think, Zack Snyder, that you could do any better? Oh, wait, you can't. I saw those two movies. You distorted what Superman is all about. You distorted what Superman is. I didn't watch Smallville because I thought it was distorted, but I would watch any episode of Smallville before I watch another representation of Superman where you're the head of it.
So tell us how you really feel.
You really want to know?
Yeah,
you really want to go there?
You know, Zack Snyder hates Star Trek Insurrection. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, I'm hiding back here, man. I'm afraid Goose is going to explode. He's
turning into the Hulk.
He's turning into the Hulk.
There goes the shirt.
Okay, I'm better.
Oh, he's good. Okay.
Hey, big guy.
He had a Snickers.
Sun's getting real low.
He had a Snickers. He's fine.
Okay. Wow. So, should the project continue, HBO's Watchmen would mark Snyder's first big foray into television. He's done the big screen to death, but this would be his first time running a television series. I don't know where he's going to get the time to do all this.
When does this guy sleep?
Jeff, take him off the DC movies.
I'm telling you, I think he has like a cot on a soundstage somewhere at DC Studios.
Okay, better him than Michael Bay.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
I
I'll
agree.
give you that.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
But only by like that much. Like a half an inch.
All right.
Yeah, that God, what was up with that Pearl Harbor movie? Good Lord.
I'm looking forward to Transformers.
Transformers 12, The Search for More Explosions.
It's only 5.
Well, I hope you're talking about, the animated stuff.
I'll watch the animated stuff
God,
in the week.
G1,
I'm waiting for him to make a good Transformers movie.
I'm still exactly.
I mean,
that happened in 1986, sir.
There you go. Thank you. The non-Bayformers. You don't need Megan Fox in Transformers.
By the way, 30th anniversary coming out, Blu-ray. I think it's going to come out in a steelbook case.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be fantastic.
Awesome.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So Zack Snyder. I'm searching my brain for other than Game of Thrones, what HBO's done lately. I think they want to try to out Netflix, and I'm sure DC is all too eager to try to get in on this as well because they want to out Marvel. And since they're not really doing it on the big screen, keep doing it on the small screen. Makes sense to me.
Yes. And, by the way, Monday, October 10th, on the CW.
Columbus Day.
It's the premiere of Season 2 of Supergirl, guest starring none other than... Superman. Now, they have a preview clip out there, and a fan redid the music and put John Williams' music on that preview clip. It is freaking awesome.
By the way, the opening...
Is it on the page?
It's on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
The opening scene in Superman 1978, not the opening credits, with the dum-da-dum, dum-da-dum, dum-da-dum. That was cool.
Come on,
but
bring it.
I mean the opening fanfare when you start to go to where Krypton. I loved that one. That's the type of fanfare. I was watching one morning. I had to work really early in the morning, and I was driving along 1604. The sun was starting to come up, and I played that as the sun was rising. Oh my God, it's better than Starbucks, man. I was jazzed for the rest of the day.
Okay, I'm gonna test something here. I'm not entirely sure this is it, but I'm gonna try it.
You know, I was also watching The Force Awakens the other day. There we go.
That's it.
I was watching The Force Awakens, and if you close your eyes, especially there's a scene on Jakku when we meet Rey, and she slides down that giant sand dune, which makes me wonder how she got up there in the first place.
Very carefully.
And she slides down there. If you close your eyes and you listen to the music, swear to God, you're in Hogwarts.
Yeah.
His music's kind of starting to sound the same a little bit.
The Phantom Menace is better if you close your eyes.
The Phantom Menace is better if you drink. I actually have a drink made. If you're going to watch The Phantom Menace, this drink
Which
will
why
help
would you in the first place?
It's called bleach. And if you drink it, if you drink enough of it, you will forget all about the movie. The Phantom Menace.
All right, so guys, are we done with the news for today?
Yes, we are done with the news for today, which means...
we had a abbreviated version of this last week, but this week we're going to take a trip
to the Sarlacc Pit.
What's going on? We just got to the Sarlacc Pit. What's that? It's this disgusting, horrible creature that's worse than anything you could ever imagine.
Okay, so for the Sarlacc Pit, we throw people in. It's something personal to you. It is not politicians. It's not Nicki Minaj. It's not the Kardashians. It's not Hillary or Trump, because they all pretty much deserve it. We'd spend the whole show throwing them in. This is something a little more personal, blow off some steam. I want to throw in, and we've never done this before, I'm throwing in Hurricane Matthew. I am taking this gigantic hurricane, and I'm throwing it into the Sarlacc Pit for... I mean, this thing, it's rumored, could actually make a complete circle and hit Florida twice. So I'm taking it and I'm putting it in.
Hang on. It's a hurricane. It takes me time to get it in. Okay?
Yeah, it is. It's like 200 miles wide or whatever.
It takes me a quick second.
200 miles, or, in Texas, we call that a short drive.
Right.
We call that going to Houston.
Going to HEB.
Yeah, going to HEB. I actually have a friend of mine who's an assistant DA up in Boston, and he moved from Texas to there, and he was stunned at the number of different state license plates. And he said, "Yeah, you drive in Texas for 4 hours, you're still in Texas. You drive in in New England for 4 hours, you've driven across 18 states."
I mean, you can drive for 10 hours, and you're still in Texas.
True story.
All right.
Okay, Goose, who do you want to throw in?
I want to throw in the people who are going to be traveling down I-35 on Monday morning/afternoon and slowing down for no good reason. I'm just throwing them now so that way the traffic's done and I don't have to deal with it.
It's terrible. I mean, it's just for no reason at all. It's just derp. I'm going to drive 40 miles an hour now.
Because like I said, I'm going to be in Dallas tomorrow.
Yep.
And I'm going to be driving back on Monday.
Yep.
And I need to get here to entertain the masses and prepare for the show and everything else that we do next week. And I don't want to be late.
Take the traffic. Put it in. Peter, who do you want to throw in?
I want to throw in all the clown sightings that's been showing up lately around town. And if you may have heard about this or not, but over the summer, that's when you had these creepy people dressed as weird little clowns, scaring people and trying to maybe lure kids into the forest, with either candy or money. And lately, there's been a few sightings around town.
Yeah, on the south side too. I'm sorry. What do you?
But Peter,
trying to get shot?
a clown enticing me with money is what got me to do this show.
Oh, okay. There.
Goose and I will have a little chat later.
All right.
Go ahead and take those creepy clowns, and put them in. Okay, so I'm checking out the Facebook page, facebook.com/GYGO official. Billy Ross is on the page. He wants to also throw in clowns dressing up like clowns and asking kids to go into the woods.
Yeah,
take the clowns, put them in. Reagan Hall DeVore says the guy who plays his bass every morning at 5:30 a.m. while driving in front of my house, and he punctuates every morning.
It's a she, and she's in West Virginia.
Oh, you're right.
Hey,
my bad. Sorry,
she's my cousin. No,
put him in. Oh, let's see here. Gary Carr wants to throw in the Kansas Star Casino for treating my lovely wife horribly when she worked there. Take the casino, the whole casino, and put him in. And finally, Gary Carr is on the Facebook page, and he says, my college algebra homework. Yeah, last time I took college algebra was 2000, back when Clinton was still president.
I took it in 99.
Yeah, and let me tell you how much it matters in my life today.
Can I throw it in?
Put it in. Good gracious. Oh, my God. Well, that's the fastest hour on radio, no question. All right, so we are done here. Don't forget to check out the podcast. 930amtheanswer.com is our podcast site. Big shout-out to Laser Legends for being our new sponsor. Big shout-out to
only one legend, Laser Legend.
Laser Legend. Big shout-out to MyGeeksNews.com for being a sponsor also. Thanks, Peter and Goose, for coming in. Y'all stay geeky and get your geek on every day.